Go ahead and start by introducing yourself.
My name is Cheri Honkala, and I'm the national organizer of the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign.
Okay. And where are we right now? What's going on?
Right now we're sitting in Rosemary Williams' home. She came to us back in February. I was actually at a meeting in Sabathani Community Center, and she walked in and said that she was losing her home and she really needed some help.
Okay, so how has your organization involved here? What have you been doing for her in order to aid her?
Well, what we've been doing is a variety of things. We've helped raise some money to help pay for some of the various different bills while she's been active in a foreclosure fight that's been basically shining a light on the issue for folks across the entire country and across the state of Minnesota.
Okay.
So not only that, we have worked with Rosemary to go around to meet different people that are currently in foreclosure and to help them to come forward and talk about the foreclosure crisis that they're in. And she's done an amazing job at making this issue not just be about the Rosemary Williams story, but about the story of people being in a financial crisis in this country and wanting to do something about it.
Right. So why don't you go ahead and tell us your opinions about what's going on here, both psychologically, culturally, socially, biologically, how it's affecting people in each of those ways.
I think that what's happening here is incredibly important. It's important to the neighbors, it's important for the state and for the country, and most importantly for the neighbors and the people that are involved in this process. There's a sense of community, there's a sense of responsibility towards each other. Most of us in this country are taught that we have to go it alone, we have to be individuals, and if somehow we get behind in our payments or something like that happens, that we're an individual failure, as opposed to a system that is really messed up and doesn't have human beings at the center and as a priority. And this process is really putting the human beings at the center. And so people have been collectively helping each other out. Our organization, we don't have any money. All of us that are involved in this process are barely eking by financially ourselves. And we collectively pull together our resources and help each other survive.
Okay. So why don't you just basically tell us anything you want to, what you want to tell the viewers online, the politicians, the banks, how people can get involved, what they can do to help, what you would suggest morally to the banks, maybe, I don't know, any of those things.
Okay. We just really want to encourage anybody that's watching this, first of all, if they're in foreclosure, to give us a call or to contact us or to bring up our website. Our website is economichumanrights.org, and we have a whole section on our website that's called Faces of the Fallen, and we organize around a human rights framework. And so we want to collect the stories of what's happening to people in this country to show that people aren't alone, they're not by themselves. And at some point we'll probably take this foreclosure crisis to an international level, to the Organization of American States, and talk about the right to housing. Because our elected officials, definitely in Congress, haven't done anything about this issue. They've continued to bail out the banks while families are being destroyed, neighborhoods are being destroyed, our children's future are being destroyed. And so something has to be done about it, and we think that the change is not going to come first in the halls of Congress. It's going to come when the American people decide that we're going to stand up. We're not going to wait for our elected officials to demonstrate some kind of leadership. Because we can't wait any longer, because millions of people have lost their homes and will continue to lose their homes if that's the kind of leadership that we wait for. We have to begin to get organized on every single block across the country, begin to decide to get active and become active participants in this fight to determine what kind of country and society we want to live in. And this next year, we're going to be doing a variety of things. One thing is that we're going to be foreclosing on Congress and the White House. We want people to stay tuned in to find out when that's going to happen and join us in that. And then we're also linking up with Katrina victims on the Gulf, and beginning in November we'll be marching. Different delegations of people will be marching beginning in November all the way up to the U.S. Social Forum in Detroit next summer. And so it's going to be a march from the South to the Rust Belt, and we will be highlighting different people's stories across this country and how they're not surviving. And when we get to the U.S. Social Forum, we're going to put forward a plan for a different kind of world and a different kind of society to live in.
Okay. So, just quickly, what are we working for as a goal here for Rosemary? What are we going to accomplish here?
I think that we've already accomplished a lot of things here. One is linking together different organizations, working together, bringing neighbors together that wouldn't normally come together. But what we want for Rosemary is, number one, we'd love to save her house. If there's anybody that's sitting out there that says, that they have the resources, it would be a wonderful thing to throw those resources here so that this house continue to be used as an organizing base to deal with the foreclosure crisis in this country. But also, even if Rosemary doesn't end up winning her house, we've won something different, and that's an entire neighborhood that has been transformed as a result of this experience, and people that I think that are pretty much committed to ensuring that there's going to be a moratorium on foreclosures in this country.
Okay. So then, would you like to make any closing statements?
No.
No. All right.
No. Yeah, I would just, again, even though we can't wait for our elected officials to demonstrate any kind of leadership, it's also important that we continue to get on the phones and call our elected officials on a local, state, and federal level and let them know we're not going to just let them get away with letting banks tear up our neighborhoods, that we're going to speak up and do something about it.
Cool. All right.